What's your process like? Like, do you have to be like alone? Like, do you have to have music? Like, certain smell or anything?
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, that's
He's
something.
lighting candles.
a little
Well,
sandalwood.
He's
a
baking
little,
some cookies.
a little Palo Alto up in there.
Yeah.
Palo
Santo,
Santo.
my bad.
Palo Alto is a city in
Yo,
California.
shout out to Palo Alto.
I have to be in Palo Alto
Yeah.
to create.
Nah, I stay. I like being by myself. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Be by myself. Sometimes I'll put music on. Sometimes I'll just listen to the news. I'm like super into like current events.
Yeah.
So like I listen to the news a lot, but I got to keep it balanced because that'll make you depressed too.
Yeah, totally.
So you like listen to the news and you just be enraged and you're like, all right, I'm ready to go. Let's get some art going.
Dude, I'm like, yo, dude, the revolution starts now, man.
Yeah.
The revolution starts with my
Hell
art,
yeah.
man. My art's gonna change the world.
Should we show some? I feel
Yeah,
like,
you want to? I can pull it up now if you want.
And you want to talk about some pieces or what they're
Yeah,
called?
yeah,
or,
yeah.
Cool.
And so explain to the people, because this is obviously just a graphic of it. Is
Yeah.
it 3D or?
Yeah, it's like a sculpture. It's like a leaning sculpture.
It is, okay.
It measures like up until like 12 feet high.
Wow.
Oh wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
realize
they're
that.
yeah, they're like they're pretty long in scale. They're not very wide, but those are like sculptures, and they're like kind of like was like my take on like satellites,
Okay.
and like obviously like frequencies, because like frequencies and like that type of in wavelengths is like something that really interests me as well, like especially like
Yeah.
dealing with like the consciousness.
Like the Sumerians, ancient Sumerians.
I've heard.
They think that they were like the first aliens. That
Oh yeah.
it looks like something like that. There's like hieroglyphic old school shit.
Absolutely. I love that type of like relic sort of like artifact.
Because
sort
this
of
top
feel.
one, the blue one, it almost looks like a guy with. It looks like a cowboy hat or like a UFO with feet.
Yeah.
Hey, it's abstract, It's
Absolutely.
each person.
You know what I'm saying? They're like because like it also like sort of talks about like that sort of language, like how abstract language can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But do you take it like each symbol was like inspired by something, or you kind of just like once you're in the creative mode of almost like putting the pen to the paper, so to speak, or the brush to the canvas, then you keep doing it until it feels right.
No, I mean each symbol like had had that inspiration to it. There was a while I was doing that symbol and it would pop up in a lot of my work. So like it was like a way for me to like keep the heritage, as far as like my 3D work and my 2D work. And so like once I'm like in there, it's kind of hard for me to say what they mean because when you're looking at it, I'm not there to tell you what it's gonna mean. So you know what I'm saying? So it gives the viewer an opportunity to sort of like build their own dialogue with the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a sculpture, and I'm just kind of looking at some of the details, but it looks like you have some sort of like pole. You're saying they're like 12 feet high. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you're like attaching these with rope and all of this. So it's
Yeah,
it's like
rope.
very hands on. I don't know. Like, are you good at building things? I'm assuming because I think a lot of people would just look at this and be like, oh, okay. Like I don't know how to build this. I don't even know.
I never went out and like was like I'm gonna learn how to build stuff, but like when it's a necessity, like when you see something in your mind and you're like, man, I want to do that, you got to figure out how to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like a skilled carpenter by any means, but like I've picked up carpentry to a certain effect because I want to build something. I need to build like if I need to build a stand for a sculpture, I'm not gonna call somebody and pay them $500 to build a stand for me. I'll just do it myself. Like I have the tools.
Yeah, so you got power tools and you're sanding stuff and all that kind of vibe.
You just go and you just collect. You collect your tools and like, you know what I'm saying. And then if you need something, you need to build something, you're just gonna figure out how to do it.
What is this made of?
The sculpture's just found wood, like found objects.
Oh, so it's wood.
Yeah, found wood. I believe those poles were found from like an old boarding school house that like I was like working on up in Pasadena like couple like 4 years ago. And
so that's kind of where the fate kind of comes into play.
Yeah.
You're doing something in real life and you're looking at, oh, this school, they're not using these, or oh, this is inspiring something. I could vision putting these two things together and like making it dope.
Absolutely. Like that's one of my favorite things about my process is finding things and sort of being able to repurpose them and being able to like put those into like a part of the artwork, you know?
Yeah, my thing when I look at something like this, it seems like something that should be in a gallery, like somebody having like the whole experience of different pieces. But if somebody were to buy this, like say Courtney buys this, how would she like put this up in her?
You find like you find like your tallest wall, obviously, you know, and then I would just lean it like either like
in the corner or something,
or just have it leaned up, you know, like
because that's always the interesting thing for me too. It's like the artist, he has this creation, but then somebody buys it off of you and they just like throw it somewhere and you're just like, that's not how I envisioned it to be. You're ruining you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, absolutely. There's definitely like a sort of separation anxiety that goes on because you don't know how it's gonna be, you know, displayed.
If they're disrespecting it in a certain way, you know,
it's the classic question. Like, once someone buys that work off you, do you own that work still? You know?
Yeah.
Did you sell this one or you still have this one?
I still have that one.
Still have it.
Yeah. I had that one in a gallery. Like, I was able to show that one in a gallery so that you were able to get the experience, and I got like really good feedback off it. But I have it in my studio.
Yeah.
We have more that we can show too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool.
This is tight.
This is cool.
This is a tarp. I see that blue tarp.
Yeah,
cool.
That's a tarp draped over some, you know, some stretcher bars. If you don't know what a stretcher bar is, that's when you it's the apparatus in which you stretch canvases around, so you can where you usually paintings are made. I just sort of like threw that on there, made a net, and just started like collecting stuff and started like adding things, and it took me like about 2 years to like finish that piece because, you know, you're sitting there and like, you know, Matt brought up like, you know, you kind of got to let things come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a musician and we've been doing a lot of promo and press lately, and we'll have like fan questions, and one of the questions I always get is like, how do you know when the song is done? So for you have this art piece sitting in your studio, which I'm sure is a pretty decent sized studio with all your tools and everything, and you're just walking by it every day, and you might just work on that for like an hour and then work on something else, and then it's like, I've been working on this for 2 years.
No, dude, absolutely. Like, I didn't have really an idea what this work was gonna look like. You know, I had like a concept behind it, but I didn't know that it was gonna look like this or like it was gonna turn out like this. I didn't really have like ideas on what to grab. And so, you know, like your process for making music, you just sort of, when it's done, you're like, all right, like, chill, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
live with it, let it breathe. And then, you know, then you go back to it. And then, so that was like a sort of a piece. Like, I used to look at I had this book of Mexican altars.
Yeah, I love that.
Of homages. And so these are things that people will put in their homes. Very popular in Mexico, but also like a lot of Latin America does this. And they're sort of like ways that people like preserve the memory of like, you know, loved ones.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like multiple 22s on here.
Like
Catch 22, man.
So that's kind of what the idea was.
Well, there's because the thing about like these like altars.
Oh, I see a 69 too.
Yeah, you already know, man. Dude, hit me up on my hotline, dude. 1-800-69.
Stupid.
Nah, but
he's like a big Tekashi fan.
Yeah, that's right, bro. I gotta represent, man. But it's like the Catch 22, like even the 6 and 9. There's like this symbolism to them is where there's like two sides to it, right? So when you look at like an altar or these homages, usually like people are displaying the best things about that person. But we really don't know what that person really was. He could have been an asshole, but his grandma really loved him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I kind of want to touch that, like, as beautiful as all these things that people put up about themselves, there's layers to like everybody, and everybody has their secret.
And there's two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, absolutely.